Everybody just please rise for a Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll begin the festivities.
Oh.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's nice to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Dave, if you would announce the applicant.
Sure, I'll read the zoning application. Is the applicant's here? Noah, are you here?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Noah Marlier, and I am with the law firm Hamburg Rubin, and I am representing the applicant. And don't mind my shoulder ice pack. I had a little bit of surgery. I apologize.
And Noah, not to cut you off, I'll just read the zoning application so we're all aware what variances and relief you're seeking. So it's on an application for variances from Plymouth Township Zoning Ordinance number 342 as amended, Article 5, Sections 500, 502B, 502F, 502G, and Article 16, Sections 1600, 1603B, and 1604A. The variance requested are as follows: to allow a business office with a front yard setback of 39.2 feet, where a minimum of 40 feet is required; to allow 48.3% impervious coverage, where a maximum of 25% is allowed; to allow 51.7% green space, where a minimum of 75% is required; to allow a 30 square foot double-sided externally illuminated sign closer than 15 feet from the curb line and within the street right of way, where a maximum of 125 square inches is allowed. Property is located at 529 Plymouth Road in an A residential zoning district. Noah, it's all yours.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Dave, for going over the zoning relief. I think this, just to start off, just give you an idea of the application, what my client is looking to do. He is currently next door. He's the owner of Next Level Construction, Inc. They are currently at the next door property. I believe it's 529 Plymouth Road, or excuse me, at 527, looking to go to 529. And the unique thing about what they're looking to do is that the property they're looking to go to and they're is zoned residential. However, if you look at the zoning map and the zoning application, and hopefully everyone has the zoning application in front of them, I think this commission will note that almost everything around it is the laboratory zoning district. So it's a laboratory commercial, I believe, or a laboratory district. And so this would actually be fitting with everything that's around it from a zoning perspective, from a use perspective. So while we would be seeking a use variance for the commercial use, the office space, it really is fitting with the rest of the surrounding properties. And this property really is quite an island. And I think the engineer who is on, Brian Horner. Brian, hopefully you're on. Great. We'll go into this maybe a little bit more, but it's really what we're looking to do is really fitting with the nature of the surrounding properties. And again, kind of, there's really no way to sell the residential property as a residential property because it's really surrounded by these other commercial. The use of the property would be about 5 to 6 employees. It would be the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's not going to be outdoor storage at this property. There's not going to be large tools, maybe some minor tools stored in the garage, but not large tools left out on the property or anything like that. It really would be in conformity with the properties around it. So the uses are kind of broken down into, I'd say, 3 different categories. There's the use variance that we technically would be seeking from the zoning hearing board because it's technically not, it is a residential zoned. And then there's the second grouping would be the impervious surface area. Impervious surface area and the green space, which kind of, in my opinion, go kind of hand in hand. And what we're seeking would be variances because we would need more impervious surface area and less green space than what's required in the residential zoning district. but it would actually be very much in conformity with all the surrounding properties if it was a laboratory district. And then the third, as Mr. Conroy noted, would be the signage. Again, I'm sure the signage on your typical residential zoning restrictions, you don't want signs at houses, but in a residential zoning district, but this really would be in conformity with everything else that is in the surrounding areas. So again, just to recap, and I'm sure Brian will go into this a little bit more, we're looking for the use variance, we're looking for the kind of impervious surface area green space issue, and we're looking for the signage issue. And Brian, if you want to take it away and maybe address specifically some of the impervious surface area and what would be done in the development.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the wrong page. It didn't unmute. So what we have here, as Noah said, was sort of an island residential zoning in amongst the other zoning, and so typically residential zoning would have a more stringent requirement for the impervious surface. But what's being proposed here is less than what the impervious requirement is on the surrounding lots, and considerably less, actually, like 48%, where 75% would be allowed, whereas the residential is 25%. But I guess the concern with that may be stormwater management. You've got more impervious surface to manage the runoff from. And we have done some preliminary calculations that would show that this could be easily accommodated on the site. The type of soil there, the bulk of the lot is a soil you would expect would be amenable to infiltration. So that should be able to be managed quite adequately. So I don't know if there were any other questions relative to that you'd like me to speak on.
Those questions may come up as we go through the board. So that's perfectly fine for now.
And I just wanted to reiterate that this would be office space. This would be, again, just a small number of employees, typical hours. The signage, if everyone can turn in the application, in your applications, if you want to go past the summary of the proposed development, you have a redacted agreement of sale. If you go past that, you can see a sign rendering, and you start having pictures of the sign rendering. As you can tell, it's pretty simple. This isn't, it's really in conformity with what the other properties around it would have. You notice then the tax map parcel, and you have the tax map parcel as well as the zoning map, and that makes it clear that this really is kind of an island, especially the zoning map. If you go through your application, there's a sheet that's titled zoning map, and then there's the zoning map right after that. You have the industrial park behind it, and again, it's the zoned office laboratory, and it is quite an island there, zoned residential. And then you have 3 photos of the property, kind of looking out. I believe it's Sandy Hill. You have 2 photos looking out at the frontage. We have the aerial shot, the 3rd photograph, the aerial shot. That really kind of makes it clear that all around it is the Plymouth Ridge office complex, the Sussex Square apartments, and you're all very well, Plymouth Township residents, very well aware of this, but current next level offices, an industrial equipment supplier further behind. So it really would be pretty much in conformity with the surrounding area.
Thank you. Do you have anyone else to present this evening? You are on mute at the moment.
All right. If Al is on the call, Al, did you want to add anything to what you would be doing at this property?
The use is basically our administrative office for our construction business. Occasionally we meet a client there, but it's like once a week or so, a lot less now with COVID and all. But it's pretty much doing paperwork and estimating from there. That's mainly the use there.
And Al, can you go over a little bit of what Next Level Construction Inc., your company, what exactly they do?
We are a subcontractor. We do framing. That's the majority of our work. And once in a while, we renovate properties and rent them. That's pretty much the business that we do. But mostly is the 90% is the framing.
Would you be doing, would you be storing large amounts of wood at the property?
No, never. We don't. Our wood is on the job sites. Our office is next door there on 527, would be a very easy transition to 529. And you can welcome to stop by our office and see. There's no storage of anything.
Any cutting of wood?
No work like that, no noise at all. It's just office, straight office. We have our office there with, it's small right now. There's only 3 rooms and 1 conference room where we are. So we outgrown it. We want everybody to have their own space. We want bathrooms and yeah, we just want everybody to have their own personal office and a reception and a nice size conference room. We have lots of screens everywhere. Everybody has a computer and 2 screens, large TVs that we put on the wall to look at plans all day long, and that's where the magic happens.
And I believe also, I should just be clear, in addition to the use variance and some of the impervious surface green space variance, and then the signage, there's going to be an addition to the first floor and the second floor. And that will bring, I believe, the building a little bit closer to the street, not much more. And it's already a pre-existing nonconformity. It's already just a little bit over the front yard setback. But Al, can you explain a little bit about the additions to the first floor and the second floor that you're looking to do?
So the first floor is mainly what we're going to replicate our office that we currently have. We're going to make it a little bigger. Right now we are only at 1,200 square foot. We're going to go give everybody more room because it's really jammed in there. In the second story, we're going to just do the shell. And in the future, as we grow, we love Plymouth Township. I live here on the townhomes, Oakwood at Plymouth. I'm actually the president of the association here. I have 3 kids. All my kids go to the local schools, so it's just very convenient, and we want to stay in the township. And we've been looking for a while for a place to move since, and we are the last tenant there at the Plymouth Woods. I'm president of the association at Oakwood at Plymouth. I might have made a confusion there. It's the townhouses on Gallagher, 100 townhouses. So anyway, we're the last tenant there at that stayed. They didn't renew our contract. We've been resilient there for 2 years, staying there, and until they kick us out. I don't know when they're gonna kick us out. COVID helped us with that, I guess. They're not doing, I don't see any movement there yet.
Al, can we, just to talk about the signage real quick, the sign that's in the renderings, that's in the application that everyone on the commission is looking at, the sign renderings, are those accurate as to what you're going to put in, what you're hoping to put in, that picture?
I would say pretty accurate, yeah.
Is it going to have any neon lights?
No, we're just thinking lights on the ground pointing to the sign.
Sure, but nothing twirly or anything like that?
Nothing quirky, just as you see, just the some flowers around, make some nice landscaping there. We plan on saving the pretty Japanese maple tree, but we'll get rid of all the overgrown vegetation that right now you don't really see the house. It's
Right.
definitely going to beautify the area. And I mean, I feel like we'll just add to the township. I want to stay local, and I see us growing. In the future, we'll put maybe a couple more offices upstairs, but that's the.
So I'm sure we may get some questions from the commission. Is there anything else, Brian, that you would like to add about from the engineering perspective?
No, I think it seems pretty straightforward. I mean, the restriction would be that impervious surface, but I believe that can be handled with appropriate stormwater management.
So just to kind of summarize before we take any questions, we have a owner of the property, or looking to be the owner, the equitable owner, who's stated that he's a Plymouth resident. His children go to the schools. His business is currently just one property over. And he's looking for variances that really wouldn't be variances if this property was zoned anything like the other properties that are surrounding it. Again, the use variance, it wouldn't be a variance if it was a laboratory zoning district like everything else is. They'd be able to have those offices. If it was in that zoning district that every other property's in surrounding, they'd be able to have a sign. And they'd also, the impervious surface area issues wouldn't be an issue from a zoning perspective. And you've heard from the engineer that we believe with stormwater runoff management, we can address any concerns that you may have. So at this time, if anyone has any questions, I'm sure Brian or Al or I would love to field them.
All right, we'll go through the board. Bob, sitting in for Lonnie tonight. Just wanted to see what your comments were.
Well, we take no objection right now to the variance request. I do believe that once this hits the land development process, we'll have a little bit more to say with regards to the stormwater management aspect and the grading associated with the property, but feel it's a fitting use for the surrounding community.
And are any comments from any of the other consultants? Anything that would raise concerns?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing yet, Vince. I don't think they've seen it yet.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Vernon, do you have any comments?
Well, mine was just the illumination of the sign outside. I had read through it today and was just seeing how bright it's going to be. Will it impact traffic? That, you know, whenever it's not a lot of traffic, but impacted. So that was answered.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Tom?
The setback for the existing building and the addition they're going to put on, maybe I could be wrong, but I've noticed in the last couple of months, PECO has done some work along there, and they're putting in new poles back further off the road, which to me tells me, are they going to expand the road and widen it? if so, how is that going to affect the setback regulation that they're having a problem with right now? I mean, to me, it would make it worse, I would think. And the other issue that I would have is on the impervious surface. Are there only going to be strictly vehicles that are going to be belonging to the individuals working at the office?
Yes, we do have one or two pickup trucks, small pickup trucks that belong to the company, but nothing, no bigger vehicles or anything.
Right. Okay. Like no large construction trailers or anything like that will be coming in there. Because what I was going to suggest is, has an alternative been looked at for possibly using a paver that would be impervious, that would actually allow water filtration through it, as opposed to like a blacktop surface?
If I could just answer that. That's a possibility for stormwater management. In our preliminary calculations, we were looking at like a stone bed back in the grassed area behind the parking, but like a pervious paving type of BMP is another possibility that could be looked at for sure.
Okay.
And on the setback issue that you mentioned first, from the existing right-of-way there, the setback is adequate, but when it's measured from the ultimate right-of-way, then it's marginally less than the required 40 feet. And he's not proposing to encroach it further into that setback. It's just a second story going on top of the existing, and that's where the
it's going to it'll overhang it, right?
It's going I believe, Al, it's just going above the existing floor, the existing footprint.
With the footprint of the existing.
Okay.
Just on the back of it, we're going to square it off. It has like 2 corners that we're going to square it off on the back of the property.
Okay.
But in the front, it is the first 4 walls you have right now. We're going to make them 2-story. Bernadette or other attorney, she was saying that since it's slightly close to the setbacks, and we're going to add to it, she wanted to bring that up so it doesn't become an issue.
Yeah, we believe, I believe the thought is that it's a pre-existing nonconformity on that issue, but we're adding it in out of an abundance of caution. So that's why I actually missed it, to start with. The real variances would be the use variance because it's technically residential, and the impervious green space, which because it's technically residential, and then the signage.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Monica?
So there's an existing sidewalk adjacent to one side of the property. Are there plans to extend the sidewalk in front of this property?
We didn't show any improvements there that wouldn't be a zoning issue. I guess that would be something that would come up during the land development approval process.
That's my only question.
Thank you. Tony?
Yeah, I was just, I guess, as far as the use goes, I think it's compatible with what's already surrounding the property. I mean, it's really, like they mentioned, an island. It's isolated there. So that use issue, I don't really have a problem with. Just a little bit of concern about the impervious surface there. And as Tom had mentioned, maybe some kind of materials or a geocell or something like that give that, because obviously, so the range yesterday, I think we're all aware of what the cumulative effect of all that drainage and stormwater management is an issue. But other than that, no, I think the use is consistent with what's around it. And yeah, it just, the impervious surfaces, that's what's, and the stormwater manager or water management should be addressed. That's all.
It's a fair point, and that's why we brought it up tonight. We certainly, I think Al's certainly, willing to work with the township on that moving forward through land development for sure.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Michael?
Just curious, I don't know if David knows, has this always been zoned residential, or was it changed in the past to accommodate this particular structure that's on it now, on the parcel now?
I believe it's always been residential as long as I.
Okay.
And frankly, I think even before the office park was there, that could have been residential way back when, and this was just a piece that, for whatever reason, got left behind. Yeah, I'm not old enough to know certain histories of the township, so.
No problem. I was just curious. As a, as all
maybe
the
Tony is.
Yeah. Now, as all the land around it is, zoned differently, but
right.
I concur. It does fit in with the surrounding zoning, so no objection there. And the other issues sound like they're reasonable requests. So, no other questions.
Thank you, sir. Greg?
Nothing additional. I think Tony and Monica hit my points of the impervious coverage and sidewalk concerns. I think the use is appropriate, but big concern about the sidewalks given the housing development there and the school across the street.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, my initial concern was the lighting, because there are residents across the street and the school is there as well, but they were addressed. David, do you have anything from Township?
Just a couple things. First things first, just regarding the pervious paving, and I know engineers can better answer this than me, but from my understanding, if you use pervious pavers or whatever, you have to maintain them. If you don't maintain them correctly, they become essentially impervious. So it's just something to keep in mind during the design process once you get there. I just wanted to throw that out there. The other thing is from the township, they'll, pending approval of this going through zoning and stuff, if it's approved, this will require some sort of land development mechanism, whether it's a full-blown land development, a waiver of land development, or just permits. But one of those conditions, either on the permit or a waiver or the land development, will have to be, the township wants to see from the Driscoll tract or Plymouth Valley Estates, whatever we're calling them these days, basically all the way down to the office park, one continuous curb. So if the Driscoll tract is widening up there on Plymouth Road, we want it to be consistent with this property as well as the office park next to it. So there's no properties jutting out into Plymouth Road. That was the major concern by council. So we just don't want it zigzag going down Plymouth Road, if you know what I mean.
That makes sense. I think Al, he can confirm, but I think that we're willing to work with the township on that curbing issue and lining it up.
That's great. Yeah. You guys are doing a great job. I love the one that you did on Sandy Hill in Belvoir. That changed my life. It was
I take
really
no credit for that. That wasn't my department.
Oh, that was amazing. That was half an hour traffic that got eliminated like this. So I just love what you guys do.
Are there any comments from the audience? All right, hearing none. Do we have anybody in opposition to the motion? Do we have anyone in favor of the motion?
Yes, aye.
Okay, so
I'll second it.
all right, there we go. We have a motion. We have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck, Mr. Pereira.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Evan, for what you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Thanks, everyone. Do we
Aye.
want to approve minutes? Do we want to get that straight over with?
I can't, I was not in attendance, so I can't vote on that one.
I wasn't there either.
Greg,
I'll make
you.
a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second my my meeting.
You did great, Greg.
I kept forgetting Lonnie, so yeah, I did well.
Oh, he'll remember that. He'll remember that. That was also your first time and on video.
You'll be able to find this video online, I think, within a few days, so don't worry about it.
Oh, wonderful.
Right.
All right. Do we have anything else this evening?
Nope.
All right. We are hereby adjourned. Everybody have a great night.
You too.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody.